I'm a pop star, baby. Yeah, I make it hit today in a fire Mercedes. That's cab, boy, I'm just a kid. Staying at my mom's house, blowing up in Michigan. You sound like you're 40, your son's born. Pick a new story, I heard that one. Yeah, it's overdone. One day I know I'ma be famous. Watch your back and listen, this is true when I say this. Boy, I ain't the type to play with. Anybody asking for a feature, tell them famous. Steady, we not hunting them, so tryna be persuasive. I know all my haters on a first name basis. I'm the type to steal the flows from. Whoa, they the type to want my income. I think that I've had enough of jealousy, it's entertaining. No, I'm never giving up, I'ma start this in the making. No, I'm never giving up, I'ma start this in the making.
Bitch problems, not yet, but I've been plotting. Pen gang got my wrist throbbing. All heat like I'm Sonny Crockett. Play with me, that's a risk. Gold chain match the wrist. All white fit, Sonny Crockett from the Vice, yeah, it's pricey. I ain't tryna hear you whine while I'm dining. Telling yo, I ain't tryna hear you, I'ma tell yo. Play with me, I'm knocking like a stereo. Play with me, I'm knocking like a
Boy, I ain't the type to anybody asking for a feature, tell them famous. Steady, we not hunting them, so tryna be persuasive. I know all my haters on a first name basis. I'm the type to steal the flows from. Whoa, they the type to want my income. I think that I've had enough of jealousy, it's entertaining. No, I'm never giving up, I'ma start this in the making. No, I'm never giving up, I'ma start this in the making.
Ayo, Jay.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Ayo, Jay.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, I tried to hit the intro button, but I hit the wrong button, and you guys caught me. Now you guys know exactly what I look like 5 seconds before I hit that intro button. But what is going on, Mafia? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream, and we got another amazing show for you guys tonight as Bitcoin kind of pumped a little bit. It's kind of going sideways. It's kind of going up and sideways at the same time. But in today's live stream, guys, I want to talk about those key levels to the upside. Are we about to see another move up for Bitcoin, or are we more likely to see that sell-off? This has kind of been the theme of the live stream for the past couple of days, as we are getting some mixed signals on the indicators. However, I am still overall bullish here, guys, looking for higher prices. And I will come back to chat in just a second. But I am looking for higher prices for some particular reasons, some of them that we were looking at on last night's live stream. But I am looking up towards about $75,000. Now, are we going to get that move up, or are we going to get a pullback before that happens? This is what I want to look at or look into today with you guys, and try to figure out the likelihood of coming up or getting a pullback first. Because, again, the charts are a little bit choppy right now, guys, and the indicators are giving some mixed signals. So I want to cover all that with you guys tonight. But shout out to Golden really, really quick. Shout out to Golden for getting those 50 Frankie Candles memberships, guys. And it wasn't just 50. It was actually 100. I didn't even see that he was gifting those memberships in the waiting room. We now have 100 new CandleMafia members. If you just got access to those custom emojis, go ahead and drop a golden emoji for our boy Golden, who, if you don't know him, now you do. He just gave you a free membership. So shout out to Golden. Spam those emojis for our boy. And Golden, I'll say it one more time. I do not know what we did to deserve you, but we're sure happy we have you. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to Golden, and shout out to the Mafia and everybody who just got a membership. And shout out to Anna Maria said, hello, Mafia. Smash that like button, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, as Anna Maria says. Every 100 likes we get gets you guys a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, which, as you guys know, we are kind of phasing out that actual wheel. But the more likes we get, the more giveaways we will get. And if we get 1,000 likes, speaking of giveaways, actually, forget the 1,000 likes for now. If you guys have not entered to win our 0.02 Bitcoin giveaway, I'm going to show you guys how to get in there in just a second. I want to look at the charts first. But, for those of you who know, get in that free Discord, get into the dining room, and then we're going to announce, we're going to announce how to get into the giveaway. But there is a, just go read the instructions in the dining room, guys, and it'll show you how to get into that giveaway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to our free Discord, link in the description down below. Go to the giveaway section, read those instructions, and it'll tell you how to win enter to win a chance to get to 0.02 Bitcoin. Shout out to Dave Digital in the chat. What is going on, bro? Let me see. I just saw a chat from him. Where'd it go? It just disappeared. Dave, you're being elusive today. What is going on with Dave? Dave is elusive. He just said something, and now he's gone. But shout out to Dave Digital. I saw you pop up there, brother. What is going on? We got Trey in the chat. We got Low Key Feta, not to be confused with your boy Low Key Cheddar. Shout out to you, bro. Feta is one of my favorite cheeses. I'm not going to lie. There's Dave. He's just laughing. As always, Dave is a smile on his face. Dave, I hope you're feeling better, brother. And shout out to Caesar. Shout out to Jay Gilly. As always, good to see you. Chuck LeMaine, what is going on? How many has Golden bought? He already gifted 100 memberships, brother. But shout out to Cryptic Sniper. What is going on? He says smash that like. The other TJs in the chat. Elionics, what is going on? Medic Money. And last but not least, guys, we got FOMO Sapien in the chat. Shout out to our mods. Show them some love in the chat. And with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts. I got a lot of stuff to show you guys, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Let's go. So here we are, guys. Also, fun fact. That is literally the first time. It's shocking. That is the first time I've ever misclicked a button on the Stream Deck I just realized that. If you were here for the beginning of the stream, you know what I'm talking about. But that was pretty funny. I don't know how I've never done that before. Like, these buttons are very close together. So anyway, let's continue on here and take a look at what we got going on. Chuck LeMaine saying, wow, he's a legend. I assume you're talking about Golden. And in that case, if that is what you're saying, you're absolutely correct. And let's see, Dave Digital said, I said I'm pumped for the makeup stream today, 3.5 hours. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital. If you guys don't know, we had a short stream yesterday. But you never know, Dave. You never know with me. But shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go ahead and jump on into the charts here, guys. I almost said the chat. And for the most part, guys, not much has changed since yesterday. Let me go ahead and get rid of this line. This was from a fib level that we have now broken. But guys, for the most part, if we are going to get another move to the upside, which could be possible based off of some things that I am looking at, and like I said, guys, there are some really, really mixed signals, right? You know, on the higher time frames, we do have some reason to potentially look to the upside. As you know, on the daily, this is something we looked at yesterday. We do have that VWAP creeping up towards that zero line. It just keeps getting rejected. Looking for the green dot, looking for the green dot, looking for the green dot, rejected, 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 and now we are finally attempting to cross over that zero line once again. Now, on top of this, guys, you know, there are some other things to be looking at here to potentially anticipate upside, right? 16-hour also printing a green dot here. Now, as you guys know, oftentimes when we look at these green dots and the red dots on Market Cipher B, I like to correlate these or combine these with money flow on certain lower time frames to potentially anticipate bigger moves to the upside. However, if you come on over the right 16-hour green dot, typically what we like to see here is that 1 hour money flow crossing over into the green. And I will be honest with you guys, I don't necessarily think, this was not happening as the green dot was printing here. So I'm not going to take that as a super bullish signal, to be quite honest with you. But you can see we also have a 12-hour green dot as well, and typically I will pair that with the 45-minute money flow, which has also kind of just been bing-bonging back and forth here. So like I said, there are, you know, the signals here are not really the clearest, to be quite honest with you. So, you know, with that being said, what I am doing is focusing very heavily on key levels and the order flow. However, with the green dot on the daily, if we see this wind up printing maybe today, there is a chance, in my opinion, that we could potentially just keep pushing up here. And we're going to talk about those next targets to the upside in just a second. I'm not looking at all of these as of right now. I know a lot of people are probably peeping this, be like, 85K. Is he about to talk about going to 85K? And yeah, you know, it's not out of the question here. You know, I'm not saying I'm not anticipating 85K, but these are really not the levels that I am looking at least for now. These are just extra extension levels. I am looking closer down to these levels, which we'll go over in just a second. But if we get that green dot on the daily, guys, I do think there is reasonable cause to be looking for higher prices here. The question is, are we going to get that pullback first? And this is kind of what we've been looking at for quite some time here on the channel, as we kind of just bing bong around here. I mean, this is pretty choppy price action, in my personal opinion. Not that you can't catch these trades, as we have caught a few of these trades in the premium Discord. But this is, you know, kind of when you're just grinding up like this, it is a little bit wonky to look at. That's why I like to break things down into smaller ranges. And one of those ranges I am looking at is still going to be this range right about here. Now, it is somewhat sketchy looking, right? You kind of get respected here, and then you hit that value area high, get a move to the downside. You deviate pretty heavily. We fall through that low volume gap. This is what we were looking at last night on the live stream. You know, kind of talking about why we saw this quick move to the downside was not that unexpected, but you know, as of right now, we are kind of just toying with this value area high, which is kind of sketchy, right? Because if we are able to sustain support above this, it could open the door to come up to some of these higher targets, which I guess I should just go over right now. I will be looking up to about 74,700 and 74,000. Oh my God, guys, I think I'm going blind. Mrs. Candles, Mrs. Candles. I don't know if she could hear me. She's we'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling we know what emoji is going to come next, guys. Our custom emojis, I have a feeling if Mrs. Candles comes through and she hears me and she brings me what I want her to bring me, there's probably going to be a new emoji very soon. And you guys will find out in just a second. Chances are she's not even in the house. I'm just screaming to myself. But anyway, we are messing around with this value area high, guys, which is somewhat sketchy in my personal opinion, right? Why? Because if we hold this level, it could open up the door to come to these higher targets, which again, at around this fib level, coming in at about 74,000. $279. And then we have the actual target that I'm really, really looking for, which is going to be about $75,000, right? $75,093 is that actual fib level. So if we are able to hold support on here and continue up, this would be the next major zone of resistance I would be looking at, or that next target to the upside. But I know, a lot of people are kind of looking at this chart, right? Looking at this resistance, being like, oh my God, Frankie Candles, why is this sketchy? There's a Mrs. Candles hands. Let's go. Mrs. Candles. Oh God. Okay. I'm sorry. She was already on her way. Hi, Miss. Just please, can you bring me something really quickly? Can you bring me my spectacles? And can we see the hand? Because I can't see. Oh God, no. These are not my spectacles. These are Mrs. Candle's spectacles. Okay, no, that is not good. Let's get a hand sniff in here. New scent. Your ring went right in my nose. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. She's about to bring me my spectacles, guys. And don't make a glasses emoji, Tony. But yeah, I can't see for some reason. So we're gonna throw on the spectacles here, and you guys are gonna see the true nerdy Mr. Candles. But anyway, guys, the reason I am a little bit sussed out here with price lingering around this value area high is normally because this is where we are generally looking for short positions, right? As we deviate above the value area high, we do look for moves back into the range. Once we get accepted into that range, we look for a move down to the POC and then the value area low. So if we do wind up getting back below this value area high, this is where we could start to anticipate a potential bigger pull to the downside. So it is a little bit dicey up here because there's, I am in a long position from down here on this wick when we got that little swing failure, which I guess you could, yeah. So I am in a long from down here. I am holding that long, obviously. It is much safer than one of the scalp longs that I'm in right now. But, once we get back into this range, it's getting very, very, cloudy here because, even if we come back down, there is an opportunity or a possibility that we could break back up. So I don't necessarily love when we hang around the value area highs like this. But that is why I am, open to the idea of getting a pullback first, right? Because, it's just the fact that we're messing around with this key level, which could, wind up getting us stuck and sending us back down to the bottom of this range. Which brings me, we took a look at the targets above. Mrs. Candles just cleaning these ever so diligently. All right, guys. I'm not a nerd. I just can't see, guys. I'm not a nerd. Mrs. Candles, tell them I'm not a nerd. Oh, sorry. Mrs. Candles she said, don't call people who wear glasses nerds. Mrs. Candles wears glasses. She has too many pairs of glasses, honestly. She has a whole closet just for her glasses. Anyway, here we go, guys. Here we go. Mr. Nerd Candles here. Hello, guys. Let's take a look at the charts. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. I'm probably not going to be able to keep these on the whole time. Oh, God, here. They're already starting. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. I don't know why I'm shouting him out. They already started. They already got the glasses emojis in here. Shout out to the Mafia. But anyway, are you gonna hang in? You're gonna stick around for the show? Okay, I'm being nice. I'm always nice. You're the one that's a bully. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. I'm just kidding, guys. But let's go. Shout out to Morel. Morel says, "Lol, Frankie Candles hits 30 and his vision's gone." Shout out to Morel. Bro, I gotta answer your text message. I am literally the worst person with a phone. Mrs. Candles is shaking her head. I know Tony D is as well. But guys, this is definitely key resistance or support in my opinion, right? Depending on if we're above or below it. If we hold this, and we do, you could even see here, 30-minute green dot. Another thing we saw happen was as we had a 4-hour red dot printing, which let me just bring this up. This morning when I sat down at the charts, guys, I did feel a little bit more bearish than I do now, right? Because at the time in the morning we did have the red dot printing on the 4-hour, and we also had our 15-minute money flow coming out here, which is generally a more bearish signal. But then since then, the 4-hour red dot disappeared, and we kind of just kept pushing, right? Now, while that was going on, we wound up printing and confirming a 3-hour green dot. So when I say there are mixed signals out there, I mean it, right? There are tons of mixed signals out there. So that's why I'm really focusing mostly on the key levels and the order flow as well as the volume profiles. So for the most part, again, if we get that green dot to print, we get the 16 and the 12-hour green dot to play out, this, in my opinion, could open up the door to get the pump before we get a bigger pullback. However, if we do, because, as you can see here, right, we are technically setting up for a potential textbook value area trade here, right? Because not only are we starting to see some bearish divergences form here? We have higher highs on our price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, as our money flow is also cruising to the downside. This could be calling for a potential correction, right? So this is what is so frustratingly confusing about the charts right now. Shout out to Tony D. Not shout out to him. Don't you dare make a nerd emoji. I mean, a glasses emoji, Tony. Unbelievable. But as we see these bearish divergences confirm and start to print, if this 2-hour bear div does print, this would potentially make me anticipate a pull back into this range, which brings me to the support below. So here's the thing, guys. This is, like I said yesterday, I am starting to lean a little bit more neutral at this point, whereas previously it was kind of just been like calling for higher, calling for higher, calling for higher, and we simply just kept having price push up. But at this point, we are definitely getting some mixed signals, so I am leaning a little bit more neutral. So really, it's one of those days. Could go up, could go down. But if you have the key targets on your chart marked out, again, being between about, for me, $75,093 and $74,279 to the upside, to the downside, I will simply be looking at this volume profile. So come on over here, go ahead and mark out this little range, grab the horizontal ray, lock it up, value area high, POC, value area low. And simply put, guys, like, what do we look for at the value area high? We either look for shorts or we look for price to hold support and then get a move to the upside. So if this does not happen, I will simply be looking for an acceptance back into this range to then come down to the POC, lose the POC, and then come right back down to the value area low. And that is simply put what I'm going to be looking for. Now, once we start losing this range low, could we look for longs? Yes, absolutely we could look for longs. However, if we do come down here, we have to be careful because we know that there is not much below us other than a big old volume gap, which could create another one of these kind of quick moves to the downside, targeting the next high volume node, which still remains key support. And it does sit at about, really for me, I'm looking at the $67,000 high volume node sitting right here. We also do have another high volume node sitting right here at about $68,472. This could also offer some support. As you can see, it offered support on the last pushback or the last pull down that we got. But if we do continue down and we do break this low, I will simply be looking at this high volume node at about $67,000. So, these are the same levels we were looking at yesterday. The question is up or down. The answer is if up, looking for shorts here. If down, just looking at this value area for context. So if we do wind up coming back down, we could potentially look for longs at the low. If we lose the low, we'll simply be looking down to this high volume node where we will assess the price as we approach that. But, I will be honest here, guys. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Hold up. Where is it? Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, my dude. He says, now might be a good time to teach us about Fibonacci tools and trading view. Nerds are cool. Glasses look good. Shout out to Golden. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Let's see. Nerds are cool. Guys, by the way, when I say nerd, I am obviously putting myself under that nerd category, right? I'm not just out here trying to bully people. Shout out to Golden. Nerds are indeed cool. But Wick says, who also wears glasses? Clark Kent. I don't know that guy. Who know? I don't even know who that is. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Wick. But let's go ahead and continue on. But yeah, so I will be looking, down here for this next level of support. And shout out to Golden. Speaking of Fibonacci tools, let's go ahead and pull our retracement, right? So if I were looking at this chart, basically the main kind of supportive Fibonacci that I would be looking at, or Fibonacci retracement that I would be looking at, would be from this low to this high. And then I'm going to go ahead and, So you can see we do have a local golden pocket sitting at about $70,597. 786 sitting at about $69,731. Now, although these wouldn't necessarily, these would be levels to look at in my opinion, right? Because at that point, right, if you do wind up coming back down, you come back into the range. I mean, heck, maybe we'll see this happen today or during the live stream. But if we do wind up coming back down here, we get the move to the low, we start losing this range, and we don't bounce off this golden pocket, it's actually kind of nice, right? Because you could kind of fill this low volume gap into our next significant shelf of volume, which comes in right on the 786. So again, if we lose that range, these are some additional levels you can look at before we actually arrive at that major level that I'm looking at about $67,000. Now, if I clear up the chart just a little bit, I wanted to pull some other Fibonacci levels and see if spawn that volume once again. And let's go ahead and pull some more macro fibs. We were looking at these yesterday, trying to see if we had any confluence on that $67,000 level. And the only fib that wound up giving it to us was pulled from this kind of wonky higher low. I don't love this fib pull. I would much rather have it pulled from this more significant swing low. But you do technically have confluence on there with this golden pocket, again, at around $67,000. If we pull the full fib here, this is kind of what gives me the next zone of major support, right? So let's say we wind up getting a bigger move down, right? We come back into the range, we break down, and we just start getting liquidations occurring, right? We're just getting a massive dump to the downside. Two more key levels other than 67K would be this value area high golden pocket confluence. We looked at this yesterday as well, between about 64,200 and about $65,000, almost even. And honestly, in my opinion, the even saucier level here, honestly, would be the not even really the 786, to be honest with you. The 786 is right on this high volume node at 62K. Yeah, I'll take this level, right? This is going to be another very significant level of support. So it all depends on what you're looking for, guys, right? If you're looking for those low time frame scalps, there's going to be a ton of levels between where we are now and these levels down here. These are not what I'm looking at for scalp long, scalp shorts, right? For those, I'm looking at much lower time frames. I'm looking at like much, smaller ranges, etc. But, for the bigger, longer-term day trades, I am definitely going to be looking down at these bigger levels, right? So if you're not someone who's sitting at the charts all day, getting in and out of multiple trades a day, in my opinion, the levels to watch are simply going to be 67K and 62K. Understanding you also have some decent support here at about 65. So, and then even if we pull that other fib I was just talking about, where you get the golden pocket confluence on your $67,000 high volume node, where does that put your 786? It puts it right on this value area high, which is super, super nice. But again, in my opinion, we said this last night, in my opinion, even if, let me pull both of these fibs just so we can see them all together. So it's kind of hard to say, right? We break down. Could get a bounce off that golden pocket. In my opinion, this is a very strong level, right? $67,000. But if we break that and we come down to this value area high, I would probably be looking for scalp longs off of this. I wouldn't, and then, moving my stop loss into profit or to break even. And then if it winds up playing out to a bigger move to the upside, then great. We can, we can capitalize on those bigger gains. But really, out of these two levels, in my opinion, this is the saucier level. Just because you have, look at this golden pocket value area high. Sure, it's a value area high in a golden pocket. That will give you support, but you basically have a pretty big gap here, right? So that's why I'm not putting as much weight on this level as I am on this gigantic high volume node, right, with the 786 confluence. So if we do wind up coming back down and getting accepted back into this range, this is the saucier level in my opinion. But again, we're very far away from that. I doubt we're going to get there by tomorrow. So really the local levels I'm looking at are just within this local profile. So there you go. It's not until we lose these lows, or really these lows, but until we lose this value area low and then, start really falling down, we don't even have to really worry about those levels at all, because, there's probably a good chance that if we do get back into this range, that we could get a bounce off the value area low of this range. So we may not even have to deal with those lower levels, but if we did, in my opinion, these are the stronger levels. 67 and 62K are the major levels I'm watching. Other than that, just local scalp levels pulled from the volume profiles is basically what I'm watching. So there you go, guys. Other than that, not too much to cover here as far as Bitcoin, to be quite honest with you. 15-minute green dot confirmed. 30-minute green dots confirmed. 45-minute looking for a red dot. Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. The indicators are all over the place. I have not, it's been a while since I've seen Market Cipher just kind of, and this is what happens, right? When you're in strong trending markets like this, things are just going to do this, right? Like, it's been a while since we've seen Market Cipher just like, look at these. I mean, this bear div did wind up playing out, but it didn't live very long. But yeah, we're just getting red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. And then you got money flow in the red, in the green. And, it's just getting a little bit blurry, right? And that's not to say anything, that's just any indicator is going to start doing that when you're in an environment like this. So, when in doubt, and when this does happen, for what it's worth, guys, I do tend to pay a little bit more attention to the higher time frames on Market Cypher, right? So when I see that on the 2-day, money flow is thick AF, right? Just super, super thick down here with the money flow. That's just kind of making me it's making me look at the lower time frame saying, hey, maybe this bear div isn't going to be as aggressive as we typically expect them to be. Hey, maybe this red dot on the daily isn't going to give us the giant move down that we usually expect in a sideways market or a bearish market, right? I do judge that based off the higher time frame money flow. But then it's just like on the lower time frames, you wind up getting chopped up here. It's a very choppy market, right? Very, very difficult to trade, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, you're going to want to long the dips. You'll have way better success just longing the dips in a situation like this. However, look at all these wicks, guys. Like, this is what happens when you get a lot of attention in crypto and a lot more, and the volume really starts to pick up. You get a lot of people using leverage. You start to get all these liquidation wicks, big liquidation wick, wreck the longs, wreck the shorts, wreck the longs. We're just getting all these scam wicks, and it's likely due to just the increased volume on the leverage exchanges, right? But it makes for a very, very choppy market, right? And this is why we're being very conservative with the shorts, right? I am not leaning heavily on my shorts. I'm leaning very, very heavily on longs because, the trend is your friend, right? Let's get back to the basics here. The trend is your friend, obviously, until they end. But in a big move up like this, you don't just want to be shorting bearish divergences, hoping to go to zero, right? You're going to wind up losing a lot of money, right? So just remember that you're going to be, at least in this environment, a lot more successful trying to long the dips. But even on those guys, even these, in the premium Discord, we've even been looking at a lot of these trade setups to present themselves, such as, swing failures of highs or swing failures of lows. And even those are if you're not trading these swing failure patterns on a super low time frame, like the 1 to 5 minute, it's very hard to catch these moves before they play out because of the massive amount of leverage in the market. So keep that in mind. And we'll see what happens here as we just dance around on the top of this volume profile. And you could see, even this on the 24-minute, we just confirmed a green dot and we're already printing another red dot. And now it's gone, right? So this is the market that we're in, guys. So, manage your risk and be careful. It is very confusing out there. But for me, I am leaning on these higher time frames. If we do not get a green dot on the daily, it's going to be, in my opinion, a little bit more likely to get the pullback. If we get this green dot, it's going to be a little bit more likely to get a push to the upside. And for what it's worth, guys, I am still holding my longs. Let me see if I can pull these up really quickly. So yeah, I am still holding. Well, okay, so they're not the same longs. Oh, one of them is the same longs. So right here, $68,959, $7,000 of margin, almost $35,000 position. We got some profit locked in here. So I tried to open a new trade here, guys, and I didn't realize that I was on USDT and not USD. So I just wound up adding to an older position. So it's kind of like a new position, but not really. It's actually just added to the position. But anyway, obviously we have our profits locked in here. No stop loss set on this just yet. I am managing the trade. If I go to sleep tonight, I will have a stop loss. But got the profits locked in. We got about 21.47 unrealized, about 30%, not too shabby. And then we do have this Matic long I've had open for quite a while. This one's not as new, obviously, but this thing cracked about 13K last night unrealized, right? We already got 3,200 locked in, but this thing cracked 13K last night. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there saying well, if he's been holding this trade for so long, Frankie, when do you plan on closing this, right? Because you might be thinking to yourself, I always tell people you don't just want to hold a trade and just pray for it to go up. And that is literally not what is going on here, right? I kind of had an epiphany earlier today. I'm going to cover exactly what I'm looking at on this Matic trade because I don't want anyone sitting out there thinking just because I'm holding this trade that I'm just hoping it continues to go up. I am leaving this open very, very purposefully, right? Like this is, there is intent behind holding this. I have very specific targets. I have very specific TA that I've done to give myself the confidence to actually hold this trade. I am not blindly holding this trade, and I'm going to break it down for you guys when we take a look at the alts in just a second. But for Bitcoin, I am just looking at the higher time frames at this point, guys, waiting to see if we can get that bigger move to the upside. I'm holding the longs, and like I said, I took a lot of profits on a lot of my longs positions yesterday. So even if we do come down and I have to hold these longs as they, profits get eaten a little bit, it's okay, right? I've locked in a ton of profit yesterday on all of my accounts, so I'm pretty safe, right? Even if we get like a big dump down, like I've taken a lot of money off the table here, so keep that in mind. I am still holding them. I am in no shorts right now. I hold zero short positions, and I am looking for higher eventually, but that doesn't mean that, it's a very hard thing, right, to get up here and tell everybody, are you bullish, are you bearish, right? So I do lean a little bit on the medium term, right? I am bullish in the medium term, but that does not mean that if I get accepted back into this range and we get a pull down to this value area low, that I'm like, oh my God, I was wrong. This is just like, I don't know if we're going to get the pullback first or not, but it's okay if we do and I'm not in a short position, or if we do and my longs come down a little bit. That's okay, right? Because those longs are in the grand scheme of things, right? Even if I were looking, my entry price now for this long is like right at the bottom of this wick. Right, so at this point, if I were to start worrying about this trade, like if we just pull a fib on this, right? Let's just pull a Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high here. Our golden pocket retracement's all the way down here. So even if we do wind up coming down here, you could consider that like a pretty healthy move down, right? You could just be making a higher low. So on the medium time frames, right? So not really freaking out if we get this move down. I'm okay missing that short, right? You can't catch them all. And shout out to the premium Discord. I was just talking about a little scalp position that I took, like a super, super, super micro scalp, just like literally looking for a 1% move. Maybe I could show it. It already played out here. So, yeah. So like from this low to this high, this is the 1 minute time frame, right? So, I wound up making, we got about, I still have this open, but wound up like close to 10% in profit at the top here, right? So when you can make 10% on a 0.5% move, you could start to see why a trader doesn't lose sleep over missing a trade, right? I think there is a lot of stuff. I think there are a lot of people out there that feel the need to like catch the next big move, and I know it's very common for new traders to feel bad about missing a move, right? But the reason that I'm not worried about missing this move is because my longs are in the context of a higher time frame, right? So we pull down, like I'm not worried about my longs; they're still okay. And it's not until and as long as you're managing your risk correctly, it doesn't even matter. But if we get this move down, that's okay, right? Like I just made money on a 0.5% move, upwards of 10%, right? So you don't need, and just so you know, right, that 1% move, right, like when you zoom out here, right, in the grand scheme of things, right, and let's come up to the 30 minute. This isn't a super high time frame. I made 10%, right? And I don't just say like me, I made, right? This is, I should say you can make 10% on this little pixel right here if you really wanted to. So I'm not worried about missing this move. And you might say, well, Frankie, that's not a small move, right? Like that's like that's a 2.5% move. Sure, you could totally profit off of that, but it's all a game of context, right? If I go up to the daily, that little 2% move is nothing. It's a pixel on the screen, right? So, this is why I don't worry about missing moves, right? I have my long positions. I'm in them. I am bullish in the medium term. So if I miss this little short to the downside, you can't catch every single trade. If that were the case, I'd be trying to catch every little move on every little candle, and a lot of traders get chopped up doing that. We simply don't do that. We wait for the highest probability trades, and we don't mind missing moves. There's always going to be another one, even if you got to go down to the 1 minute to find it. So I am going to be holding the longs. That's why I don't hold a short. And to be honest with you, even if I were to enter a short here, it would be highly risk managed. To be quite honest with you, even if we did get a big pullback here and I took a short, my risk management would be so tight, there'd be a pretty high probability that I would get wicked out of that short before, and then it would take off without me. Because just because of the environment we're in, I am literally like expecting my shorts to get stopped out. Like I have a tight stop loss and I go, this is going to get stopped out. If it doesn't, great. I'll make some money and I'm hedged. But I expect it to get stopped out. And I was looking at one of my accounts the other day. But the I was looking at my like the last like 10 trades or whatever. Like I was just looking at the first page of the P&L, and it really does go to show how important your risk management is. Because you know, as I'm scrolling down there, I'm just like, you know, I always preach your wins have to be bigger than your losses, right? Your losses should be tiny, your wins should be big. And it's like my P&L was like minus $9 plus $3 grand, minus $250 plus $5 grand, minus $7 plus $1,500, minus $150 plus $10,000, right? And this is the most important thing about trading that most people just ignore. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I am not in a rush to just short this thing down to zero. If I see a solid confirmation, I will take the trade with tight risk management. But even if I get that confirmation, like if I'm getting a bear div with money flow coming out and the daily green dot is printing, it makes it a less saucy setup in my opinion. So just be careful with those shorts, holding those longs. And with that being said, let me get to some of these super chats, guys. I know I did miss a couple of them. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, being a chart and candles nerd means you're making money. Ignore the haters now. Laugh at them later when you take profit, Candle Mafia. Shout out to Golden. Dude, 100%. It's so funny, man. It's like when nerds used to get bullied and then they all became like the CEOs of like, you know, the tech boom, and it's like, man, I should have been a nerd. But we're not missing the train this time, guys. Full on nerd mode. I'm just kidding, guys. But shout out to Golden, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. You're the best, bro. And shout out to Retro Mike. He said, are you Frankie's nerdy twin brother? Is this the infamous Rob Candles? Shout out to Mike. Thank you for that, bro. I appreciate you so much. And no, this is definitely Frankie Candles. Bing bong. This is Frankie. Don't look into it, but it's definitely me. Anyway, shout out to Retro Mike, and shout out to Creighton C. said, you got my homework, nerd. Let's go. Shout out to Creighton. Let's go. And shout out to Golden one more time. Said, now might be a good time. We read that. Shout out to Golden. Thank you so much, bro. Like, you're crazy, bro. Just straight up. Not only gifting 100 memberships in this stream, but also just sending mad super chats. You're the man, dude. Tony D said glasses emoji. Got it. Almost home. Shout out to Tony. And then Anna Maria also said hello, Mafia. We've read that before. Shout out to the super chats. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you more than you guys could possibly imagine. So, to show my appreciation, not only are we going to take a look at the altcoins, so go ahead and spam those altcoins in the chat. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count up the votes and let us know which ones we're looking at. Shout out to Dave Digital says, $5, you're going to be so pissed in 90 days. Shout out to Dave Digital. I don't know if that was to me or not. Am I just like, do I just have like impending doom in 90 days? Shout out to Dave Digital. But drop those altcoins in the chat. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count up the votes and let us know which ones we're looking at. And speaking of giving back, guys, don't forget, we are giving away 0.02 Bitcoin on Friday's live stream. So make sure if you want a chance to win that, you got to get in the dining room. Let me just pull it up here. I know you guys can't see my screen. I just never know what I have open on Discord. And if you guys were here whatever time last year, you guys will know why I'm extra careful about pulling up the Discord on a public stream. Shout out to anybody in that stream. I apologize for that, guys. That's it was rough. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick for you guys. If you want a chance to win that 0.02 Bitcoin, guys, come on into the free Discord. Come to the giveaway section in the Mafia community, and here are the instructions to get into the giveaway. Simply put, you just got to join the dining room. And then once we are on stream, another key part of this giveaway is you have to be in live stream while we call you, right? So if it's like, Dave Digital, you won, you have to be in live stream and be like, hey, oh my God, I'm here. I got it. If you are not there, you cannot win. But come to the dining room or come to the giveaway section of the free Discord and get in the dining room. And then on Friday, you could go back to the when you get access to the dining room on Friday, we'll announce it. I mean, it is here already, but we are going to announce it and let everybody know, like, hey, guys, like right now, all you have to do is go join the dining room, right? And then on Friday, we'll announce it and say, hey, if you're in the dining room, pull it up and click participate on the giveaway, and that is your entry in. So there you go. Super, super simple. Get in the dining room, wait for instructions on Friday night's live stream, and you could win 0.02 Bitcoin, which is about $1,200, $1,300. So shout out to you guys. And then shout out to Carlos H. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate that. He says ocean, and I say river. I'm just kidding. I assume you want me to look at Ocean Protocol. Shout out to Carlos, I think. But yeah, we could try to take a look at Ocean, no problemo. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and start off on Ethereum, or Ethereum, as your grandmother might call it, the king or queen of all altcoin. Why do I feel like I don't know. Why is Ethereum, like, I feel like Ethereum's got like feminine vibes for some reason. Like, I feel like I call Ethereum her and I call Bitcoin him. I don't know why. But anyway, let's take a look here at Ethereum. Now, obviously, guys, we were looking at some very particular things on ETH, right? Not only, right, I'm going to start taking some of these levels off the chart as they become, like, further away from the relevant price action. But obviously, guys, we were looking for the fill of this massive range to the macro golden pocket. We did wind up getting that. And shout out to anybody who saw that ETH update before this move happened. It's like, shout out to the goal. If you guys are learning volume profiles and you want to, kind of understand how these work and see how they play out, I highly recommend going back and watching that Ethereum update where we were looking at this smashing its head on previous value areas, expecting it to fill, and it played out exactly as we thought it would. And even though it's already played out, it will still educate you on how these behave and how you can use them on whatever coin you're looking at to get a move to the upside. So, or not to the upside, but to get that move to fill a whole range to the upside or the downside. Let's see here. Shout out to Mr. FaZe. Thank you for that super chat. He said, what's your opinion on 1x leverage instead of spot? I don't know. It's not something I do very often. I don't even know. Like, I never really do that, to be honest. I am a big fan of lower leverage, like swing positions, right? Not like necessarily like, this is dangerous, right? Because I don't want to, get everybody super excited about like, oh my God, I just learned about this thing called leverage. It can be very dangerous, but it's also hard for me to not promote it, but it's also hard for me not to like speak about the benefits of it because I benefit from leverage so much. And a lot of the reason why I don't get wrecked using leverage is because I have the discipline, the trading discipline, the trading psychology. I have my mindset correct, right? I'm not looking to gamble. I wasn't looking to try to get rich overnight. I was looking for something to sustainably make money over time, consistently, right? So to me, leverage is not risky because I limit my risk. I have the discipline to set the stop loss and let myself lose a trade for a small loss rather than taking the stop loss off, letting the trade ride deep into drawdown and then getting liquidated, right? I don't do that. So leverage is not a problem for me, but it could be a problem for a lot of people. So you got to be careful, but you got to think about it like this, right? Like if I had $5,000, right? And I was looking to buy a spot bag with 5K, right? I'm like, oh, let me buy some, depending on what I was looking to buy. Let's pretend I only had $5,000 left of capital that I could invest, right? And I really, 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 really wanted to buy a medium cap altcoin, right? Not a super low cap gem, but a medium cap altcoin. I thought maybe there was a 4 or 5X in it, maybe a 3X. Sure, I'd like to 3X 5K, but with super low leverage, like 2X, 3X leverage, you can increase your buying power by 2 to 3X very easily while taking on very limited risk, right? Because when you use lower leverage, your liquidation level isn't right up your butt, right? You have a lot of room for the trade to play. So I will say this, I'm a big fan of lower leverage swing positions, right? So like, for example, if I were looking for an ETH long here, right? And I were looking to like ride this up, say I only had 5K to invest in ETH, 5K up to this value area high is only a 68% pump. Sure, that's nice on 5K, but what if I can make it, 15K or 20K with, limited risk due to the leverage, not just doing 100x leverage, but 2 or 3x is like not too bad. That's like pretty responsible leverage in my opinion. And then you could turn your 5K into like 15, 20K. That's like a nice amount of extra buying power with a pretty limited amount of added risk because of the leverage. So for things like that, I do like it. I don't typically use 1x. Like if I were going to drop 5K on something, I'd probably just buy it on spot. Unless I just wanted to use like my trading funds in my trading account and I just saw something was going to rip like that day. Maybe I'd take like 20K, whatever it is, and drop it into that coin on 1X to see if it would ride up. But for the most part, like 2 to 3X leverage is like the lowest I go. I don't really use 1X leverage that much. Not because it's bad or you shouldn't. It's just something I haven't really done that much. But I know a lot of people who do. Shout out to, what is his name? Shout out to, if you guys ever heard of Cameron Foose. I actually had watched that guy's YouTube channel since before he was like in crypto. Like I forget, he had like a travel page or something I used to watch. And like now he's like a stock trader. He was like a traveling day trader. Probably like one of the things that like inspired me to not do YouTube or anything, but like, you know, seeing videos like his, those were the kinds of things that made me inspired to like start taking trading seriously. Because, you know, you see these people traveling all over. They're making a ton of money from their laptops. It's a really cool life. And, you know, I know it gets sold the wrong way oftentimes. Like, oh, just lay on a beach and make money for doing nothing. It's not how it works. But shout out to Cameron Foose. I think he uses like 1x leverage a lot. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's who I saw doing that. But shout out to Cameron Foose. I highly recommend you guys go check out his page. He focuses more on stocks, I think, but he's in crypto as well. I think he gives out really, really good sound information about like, he's like no BS. He's like, take responsibility for yourself and like have the discipline. And, you know, he gives really, really good information that I think traders need to hear. He's a bigger YouTuber. Shout out to him. I'd love to have him on my channel. He might be out of our league subscriber wise, but shout out to Cameron Foose. Maybe blow up his channel, guys. Get him in touch with us, and let's have him on the channel. He's a super cool guy. But anyway, shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. There is the altcoins. Let's go ahead. We got it pinned, brother. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Mr. FaZe. Thank you for the super chat. He says you could free up capital, increase it to 100x. Yeah, technically, yeah. You increase risk by a ton if you do that, but absolutely, you would free up a lot of capital. I do that. There is a time and a place for 100x leverage, guys. I will tell you that. We talk about this a lot. If you ever see me in a position where you're like, wow, Frankie says he never uses high leverage, but why is he in a 60x leverage position? The only time I'm ever in a super high leverage position like that, guys, is if I am already in the green, have already taken profits, and my stop loss is moved either into profit or to break even. If I have that's a guaranteed winning trade, right? If your stop loss is at break even and you've already taken profits, or your stop loss is in profit, it's a guaranteed winning trade, unless your stop loss doesn't get triggered for some reason and you just go into the red. But for the most part, those are guaranteed wins. On those positions, sometimes what I do to do exactly what FaZe just said, free up capital, I will jack my leverage up to, say, 50x, 80x, whatever it is. And what that does is it pulls actual margin out of your trade so you can then reallocate that capital into another trade. But it's not increasing your risk because your stop loss is already in profit. It's already a guaranteed trade, a guaranteed winning trade. So I will do that. If you jack up your leverage after you're in a winning position, you know, that is safer, right? Because you're not really increasing the risk. Sure, you know, the trade will go against you faster, but, you know, there's no risk of losing the trade. So it's okay. You can use 150x leverage. But that's the only time I use super high leverage. But anyway, for Ethereum, guys, obviously we were looking for the fill of this giant range. And then once we broke this golden pocket, we were looking to where? Exactly. Thank you, Creighton. We were looking right up towards that 786 retracement level at about $4,000. Now, what else were we looking at in that zone? This purple box, the POC. The POC of what? The POC of this small range up here. And what happened, right? Let me hide some of this stuff. Let me hide this bigger range. Bada boom. Come on. Bada boom. Bada boom. Bada boom. Okay. So, you know, golden pocket to the 786, that makes sense. But also, we had this previous value area up here. Weekly naked point of control. We know these act as magnets for price, sucking price up towards the level. What happened? We got sucked up to this value area. And then what happened once we got back in and flipped this to support? Bing bong, right to the POC, as you would expect. We also had the 786 there. So there were two reasons to look for price to pull up to this level. And at this point, once we're able to get above this POC and flip it to support, we could potentially see price right up to the value area high, sitting at about $4,400 or $4,395. We also have the weekly naked point of control that we looked at yesterday at about $4,600, which could also, again, act as a magnet for price. You guys will, you know, remember on VeChain, our VeChain chart does have, let me see, was it VeChain? I think it was. Is it Coinbase? VeChain? Where's the VeChain chart? KuCoin? Where is it? Guys, where's our VeChain chart? Well, if you guys watch the show, you will know we have a VeChain chart somewhere. I think it was VeChain. We have a VeChain chart somewhere where we have literal magnets drawn on the chart. There it is, right? Why is it the Bitfinex chart? I very rarely look at Bitfinex. But again, you know, we drew these magnets a while ago saying this value area high is probably going to act as a magnet for price. And what has happened since then? Well, VeChain is not only broken out of its bear market range, but it's also flipped it to support and approached this previous value area. And now what's happening? We are inside the value area. As long as we hold above that value area low, we could expect to see these higher targets hit. And in the hindsight, it will be like, oh, look at the magic magnets. We're sucking price up. This is how we do it, guys. These value area levels are no joke. But anyway, let's go back to ETH real quick. To be honest, like that's really all I'm looking at on Ethereum, right? We've gotten a move just absolutely beautiful. You can see the beautiful resistance on this POC, just unbelievable. But you know, once we flip this to support, I am going to be looking higher to those next two key levels. Other than that, looking very similar to Bitcoin, right? Green dot on the daily. You know, VWAP kind of hanging out there, but you know, potentially looking to print a green dot somewhat soon. It's a little less closer to printing that green dot, in my opinion, than Bitcoin is. But it is, you know, it looks very similar to Bitcoin as far as market cipher goes. But, you know, as far as key levels, for me, I am looking at this range between 3,760 right now and 4,400, right? Once we break above the POC, again, at $4,082, flip that to support, I think the value area high is likely to come in. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at on ETH. Nothing really too crazy there. This thing's just been going up and to the right, as we expected on our video we put out 2 months ago, you know, based off of many things. Not only was the chart pointing to the upside, guys, but we have the obvious anticipation of the ETH ETF, just like Bitcoin, right? That is essentially what got Bitcoin to fill its macro value area, right? What macro value area? Simply put, this macro value area. Price was ripping from the bottom in anticipation of the ETF, and then, you know, really started getting exciting here. People buy it up in anticipation of the ETF. You get to the golden pocket, value area high, the top of the range, as the ETF gets approved. This is why I have a hard time accepting that news really matters, right? Because we were looking for a rejection here, and it's just crazy that we tapped that value area high literally as the ETF gets approved, and then you get to sell in the news event that just so happens to be at a major technical level, and then you get the pullback and then another explosion, right? This is essentially what we're seeing on Ethereum, not only because of the charts and the fact that once you hold the low, once you hold the value area low of the volume profile, it's likely to go to the POC and the high, not only because of that, but also we had the fundamental, we had a reason to get ETH gassed up. You had the rumors of the ETF. So I do use some kind of fundamental and news analysis, but at the end of the day, I would have caught all the trades we got on Bitcoin with or without the news, right? I wouldn't have been looking for longs. I still would have been looking for shorts at this level with or without the approval of the ETF. The approval of the ETF just made it like even more obvious that it was going to pull back. I saw a lot of people calling for just an absolute breakout here. You know, once we hit the approval, a lot of people thought it was just going to explode to the upside. We were going to see something we never saw. But all I could see when we came up to this level was that bearish divergence on the daily, bada boom, with money flow coming out, right? That indicates a pullback like 9 out of 10 times. So, you know, not getting caught up in the hype. But anyway, let's continue on to our next altcoins. Let's see. Let's see. Bada boom. His Skywalker says bull market making Frankie look like a rocket scientist. Shout out to Skywalker. It is funny too. It's like people say everybody's a genius in a bull run, and then I just show them the shorts that we take, and it's like we make money regardless of where price is, right? It's funny too because like a lot of new people are going to come in at the bull market and they're gonna be like, well, obviously you're making money on the longs. Well, obviously, but we make money on the shorts still, right? But obviously we're not going to take as many shorts in a bull market as in a bear market. But you know, everybody's a genius in a bull market, and a lot of people don't know that you could be a genius in a bear market too, because you can make money on the way down. But yeah, let's continue on here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see. Okay, let's continue on. Next coin, XRP. This is obviously one getting a lot of buzz as it has moved more than 0.5%, which is pretty big for XRP right now. XRP is just getting absolutely stepped on right now. Super lackluster price action on XRP, but could we see this come to an end very, very soon? Potentially, right? And let me go ahead and where's the other XRP chart? Right here, right? So simply put, guys, I am looking at the same levels on XRP that we've been looking at, right? You guys know we've had this doorway to higher prices at about 63 cents for months, right? Like for months, all the way before we got the breakout here to almost $1, right? 93 cents. We've been looking at this value area low as a doorway to higher prices, and every single time we approach it, simply put, you get the pop up to the POC, right? And then here, you still get a nice little pop up. You don't hit the POC, but you could see price breaks this level and it wants to go. And then right now, again, for the third time, we are now above this value area low. Again, the doorway to higher prices. So once we are able to maintain support above here, the next likely place for price to go is going to be that previous point of control at about 83 cents. And this is the analysis we've done on XRP forever. This is why I always try to push people not to like keep the emotions out of it, right? Like it's you know, I see, it must be exhausting. You know, I see a lot of people on social media like, these idiot XRP bears don't think it's ever going to pump. Wait until this day and this. And like all of these people are saying all of this through this price action when all you really need to do is find the key levels on the chart, right? Like when you bing bong around here, people are like, oh my God, I told you it was going to $1 million. Oh my God, wait, no, it's going to zero. I told you it was going to $1 million. Wait, no, it's going to zero. Oh my God, this is our time. Like this is all made up in people's heads, right? Like, no, it like this is, and I feel bad for like XRP because it's like this all has like nothing to do with why the price moves, right? Now, sure, when a coin gets hyped, sure it could pump, right? But you know, like when I look at the charts, I just simply am not getting excited until we crack this level. But you see all the emotional investors like, oh my God, it's going to, oh my God, and like we're just sitting on our hands like I don't care what happens down here. It doesn't matter what happens down here. It's only until we break this value area low that I'm interested in looking at XRP. At least at the, you know, if I was scalping XRP, I'd be pulling ranges down here and scalping it. But for the most part, like, you know, everybody gets excited over every pump and every dump. Meanwhile, most of the pumps and dumps in the market are just noise, right? But once you break that value area low, you're expecting to go to the POC. We got a fake out here, didn't hold it, and now we are getting a potential acceptance into here. And the reason I say, I mean, even here, you have the weekly money flow crossover. Like that would have been a great reason to hold within this range. And, you know, money flow never crossed back into the red. So, you know, it's very hard for me to kind of say if we're going to hold support above here because almost every other time that we've come into the zone, we've had money flow crossover into the green and we still just lost it. Where we are in the cycle right now, if we are going to get this parabolic alt season that everybody's expecting, you know, obviously first Bitcoin goes crazy, right? And then once Bitcoin pulls back or starts going sideways, this is where you typically see those altcoins start to run. So if we get that alt season, is XRP likely to pump? I think so, right? I'm bullish on XRP. I'm not an XRP bear at all. I do think it will do well. It's one of my bigger bags. I don't actively buy it anymore. I already own a ton of it. I see no interest in allocating more money to XRP as it has done nothing. And I'm glad I did that, right? Now, again, this is not me hating on XRP. I am a bull on XRP. But, you know, there's a lot of money that I probably would have you know, a while back just dumped into XRP, but I allocated it to different altcoins that I'm up multiple X's on now. So you don't want to just like, you know, the only reason I would, you don't want to just dump money into something because hashtag diamond hands, right? Like no one cares about diamond hands. Like the market does not care about diamond hands. This is a, in my opinion, diamond hands is a dangerous word, right? Because people just have diamond hands like the Dogecoin millionaire. Diamond hands, where'd that get him, right? I'm sure he's back up now if he has diamond hands. So in that aspect, like, yeah, hold on to it. But like, you know, diamond hands could work it could work to stop you from panic selling, right? Like in that aspect, it's good. But for the most part, people just diamond hands. Like diamond hands is essentially a term that people who know what they're doing try to tell other people to believe in because then they can make money, right? This is a game of who gets out first, right? That's why it's so hard. It's a game of run the price up and then let's see who pulls out first. And there's a incentive, especially for, you know, it's hard for me to think that there's any influencer out there that has enough of a following to just like really manipulate the price of like a big asset. But a lot of these people pushing meme coins and stuff, there's a reason why they're telling you diamond hands, right? Because they don't want the price to dump and then start a sell-off, right? They want you to just diamond hands because they need everyone else to hold and buy so they can sell, right? Otherwise, there's going to be no liquidity to sell to. So keep that in mind. Now, this wouldn't really happen with XRP, in my opinion, because the market cap's too high. Like, you can't just manipulate it that easily, or a regular person can't manipulate it. Sure, you know, big institutions maybe. But with that being said, I'm not buying any more XRP, but I do hold a huge bag of it. I'm definitely an XRP bull. If we hold this key level at 83 cents, we're still expecting that POC to come in at 83 cents. And, you know, if we do wind up seeing that happen and we are getting a parabolic alt season, in my opinion, locally, the next targets are 83 cents and $1.29, which again, were the same targets when we approached here, same targets when we approached here, and simply put, same target right now. So there you go. If we see that alt season, maybe we see this fill to the upside. And if you guys have been following the channel, a lot of these altcoins that, and like, I do not say this to brag, guys. I hate. It's one thing I don't like about crypto. I just feel like crypto is like a place for people to like wait for something to do what they said it was going to do, and then like they can't wait to make a video and be like, "What did I tell you guys? I told you. I told." And meanwhile, it's like you're probably getting wrecked on a million other things on the other end of it, right? So I hate to say this, but I do not say this to brag. I don't say this to try to get validity. I say this and I show every single time why this is important for you to learn, because this is how you can make money. We've seen these coins. We've looked at this stuff live, right? And we've seen it play out time and time again. Again, not only on Bitcoin, not only on Ethereum, which we're probably about to see that play out again potentially. We've also seen it play out on Dogecoin. We've also seen it play out on Chainlink. We've also seen it play out on Solana, right? We've seen these value areas play out how I'm saying XRP is likely to play out if we get that alt season and XRP isn't left in the dust. We've seen these things happen many, many times before. It's not because I'm the best. It's not because you have to follow me because I'm the only person who can do this. It's because the reason I show this is to show you that you can do this too, right? It's a very simple strategy, and it's very reliable. Doesn't guarantee XRP will fill the range, but just keep that in mind. I mean, very, very... again, if alt season happens, in my opinion, it's extremely likely, as long as XRP just doesn't get left in the dust like it has been so far, if it's going to get any kind of pump on an alt season, in my opinion, it's very, very, very likely that these are the next stops, right? And now, are there going to be intermediary stops for XRP? Absolutely. You could have things like, you have, I'm sure you have some big levels up here. Let's check it. I'm actually going to pull up the weekly real quick. Yeah, so you do have some levels, right? Like these two weekly levels right here are going to be, pretty significant, probably going to give you a significant amount of resistance, right? Two daily levels up there at about $1.09, $1.03. So is that going to give you some turbulence on the way up? Absolutely. But in hindsight, when you look back to like, oh, what did XRP do during that alt season, right? It's probably going to do something like this, right? Value area low, POC, stick around that POC, maybe you dump a little bit, then once you get above that, you're probably going to cling up on these naked points of control, and then eventually, when you look in hindsight, you're going to be like, oh, well, look at that. It just ran to the value area high, just like on Bitcoin. It wasn't pretty, right? Well, actually, Bitcoin's pretty close to being just a straight shot up. But if you come down to like the daily, right, like this wasn't just a clean shot. It went from the value area low and then to the POC in a straight line. But look how confusing this was. Oh my God, we're going back down to 15K. Oh no, hang on, we're good. Oh my God, 15K. Oh no, we're good. Oh my God, the bull run's on. Wait, no, it's over. Oh my God, ETF. Oh my God, it's all over. Back into the bit, right? It's a very confusing ride. But in hindsight, what happened? You went from the value area low to the POC to the value area high. And we're likely to see that play out on XRP. And that's all I got on XRP for you guys. There you go. All right, let's see. Shout out to Dave Digital, said, Golden, it's a mistake in my eyes because I didn't buy Solana. Shout out to Dave Digital. Not 100% sure of the context of that, but shout out to Dave. Solana, if you guys know, famously, I bought Solana right before it went to zero. Probably one of my worst buys ever. I don't think I've ever bought something and had it go to zero almost quicker than that. And it just goes to show, Solana was not one of those coins that was like expected to go to zero, right? Like I felt pretty safe buying Solana, and then it went to zero. So always invest wisely, do your own research. This is never financial advice. And yeah, that was probably my worst buy ever. Luckily, I low-key like degenerately got myself out of that hole. It wasn't really a hole, but I lost like literally bought Solana. Let's take a look at Solana real quick. Whoops. I literally bought Solana right here, right? Like I started DCAing into Solana right, not even here. Literally like right here is where I started DCAing into Solana. Once I saw that weekly money flow was crossing into the red, that's where I started to buy, and then it instantly went to zero. So I make mistakes all the time, guys. And what I did was, once it dumped, I wound up degenerate. I wasn't going to sell. My money went to nothing, right? I wasn't going to sell there. I was like, I just hope this comes back in the bull market. And what I did here was not only did I not sell, but I also bought a ton of 3x pre-leveraged Solana tokens down here. And then I got back my money plus profit once we wound up coming back up. And now I am massively in profit on Solana. It's like one of my top performing coins. So not only did I make the worst decision, but it also wound up being my biggest win, I believe. I could be off on that, but it's one of my bigger wins, at least as a percentage-wise. All right, let's see. French Toaster said Mr. Candles is human after all. Absolutely, guys. I get stopped out of trades. And sometimes, guys, let me be very clear with you. I don't never make mistakes with my psychology. Sometimes, I mean, this hasn't happened in a good while. But, you know, sometimes I might think that a trade is better than I thought it was, or I might think a trade is better than it actually is. And maybe I do say, hey, it's dipping a little bit, but I still believe in this trade. It's not technically invalidated based off my entry. Let me take my stop loss away. And sometimes I lose money, right? And again, that hasn't happened in forever. But like, I do make mistakes like that sometimes. One of my biggest mistakes, guys, like if you really want to know what I struggle with the most in my trading right now, and it's very particular to the individual. For me, the biggest struggle I have with my trading right now is simply trying to manage the 1 million things I have going on, not only with this YouTube channel, not only with the Discord, not only with the business, not only with my personal life. I have a ton of stuff going on, and sometimes I try to trade like I am like it's my only thing I have to worry about. And sometimes I will walk away from my computer thinking that, you know, I'll be okay with no stop loss, and then I come back 5 minutes later, and then I'm in the red, right? And I'm like, oh, man, like I just kind of run it all over the place. So for me, it's just that I have a lot going on, and I probably should be sticking to longer-term trades. And when I get too aggressive with my trading, I wind up losing more trades, or I get stopped out more often, or sometimes I forget something because I'm so busy. Oh, my God, I forgot I had this position open. Thank God it's in the green. That literally happened the other day. I'm like, I forgot I entered this position. I need to chill out. I have too much stuff going on. And it's something that, you know, is only particular to me. Maybe some, you know, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, if I didn't have this business going on, I would just be sitting at my desk. I'd be able to catch lower time frame trades and stuff like that. So my biggest thing right now is trying to manage a million things on top of trading, which I always talk about is like you know, that's not the best thing, right? If you have a full-time job, I don't recommend you scalp the 5 minute. It's not a good idea. You're going to wind up checking your phone every 5 minutes. You're going to lose your hair. You're going to lose your sleep. And you're going to get wrecked, right? But it's kind of weird because when I'm working, I am trading. It's part of my job. But I have other things that are part of my job that aren't necessarily entering and exiting trades, obviously. But anyway, right, I can't tell you how many times, guys, I film a video with Tony D, and I'm like taking my phone out of my pocket every 5 seconds trying to look at a position, be like, oh, my God, I wish I was just sitting at my desk. And when I do that in my head, I go, you just shouldn't be in that trade, bro. You got to let that one go. You can't get in that trade, man. Like, and I set the stop losses and stuff, but I like to actively trade. Anyway, just trying to give you guys some insight into my personal life. I am by no means perfect at all. But let's go ahead and continue on here. Shout out to Steven Atwell. Said, I feel the exact same way, Frankie. Shout out to Steven. And if you guys are very, very busy people, I would recommend sticking to a higher time frame. Swing trade, day trade. It's honestly likely what most people are going to do better at anyway, right? And what people will enjoy more is something that they don't have to check every 5 minutes. But let's go ahead and continue on. Yo, shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Yo, shout out to Rob. Oh, God. Somebody, he cursed. At Tyler Durden, Rob the Crypto Snob is breaking the rules. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Rob. Yeah, I feel like that sometimes too, bro. I do. Let's see. Liquidation is the only way. Yo, these chats are wild. Anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Rob. Absolute legend. Okay. Shout out to Win. Shout out to you, bro. I hope you're winning those trades. Let's get it. He said, I'm new here. Welcome to the CandleMafia, my friend. I'm surprised you don't have a membership yet. They get gifted often here. But shout out to you. He says, do you have any opinions on SLP? Not really. What are your insights when alt season will hit? Let's talk about that real quick while we took a look at XRP. Let's take a look at Pepe real quick. And one of the things that I would be looking, oh my God, Pepe, come on, man. Why? How come every meme coin? Oh, we are also going to take a look at this one, guys. Is this the next Pepe? Is this the next Pepe? I don't know. I'm not saying it is. Please do not think I'm saying that. I am not saying this is the next Pepe, but COQ. She's pumping, baby. She's pumping. We'll take a look at this as well. This is one that I do own. I don't own any Pepe. I might have some dust somewhere. I owned it a while back, but I don't own any significant amount of Pepe. But I'll be honest, in my opinion, if there is something that is likely to take a Doge type position in this bull run, a Sheeb type of position in last bull run, I do think Pepe has a really, really good shot of doing that, right? It's a classic meme. It's OG. It's not understood by everybody, but everybody kind of knows that Pepe, the Pepe frog or whatever. And I think it's got a good shot, right? It's already got a pretty high market cap. I think this has got a good shot. But now with that being said, you do have to understand that the bigger market cap coins are not necessarily going to give you the gains that everybody wants from a meme coin. Now, will it give you a massive gain? I'm sure, right? If it does wind up pumping. Let's see. What is, Pepe's market cap is $3 billion, almost $4 billion, right? So it's going to be harder to move that coin, rather than something lower market cap like another newer meme coin. I'm not even going to say anything because I don't want anyone to go buy a meme coin based off of what I say. This is not financial advice. But I think Pepe's got a good chance of sticking around for the long haul. Now, I could be wrong on that. It could go to zero, obviously. But let's take a look at what the charts are saying. So let me see. Is this has got to be the it is crazy that I don't know anything really about Pepe, for the most part. I'm pretty sure it's just a meme coin. If you guys, Sheeb is, no longer just a meme coin. They have a whole lot of stuff going on. If you guys check out the video that I put out on Sheeb, I let you know everything they have going on. It's, super active project. I don't know. I think Pepe's maybe just a meme. I don't know. But I do think it has sticking power here. But if we take a look at the chart, right, there's not a lot to analyze here, right? Your VWAP on the weekly is coming down. Now, would I be buying spot Pepe up here? Probably not, right? I am not. But even if I wanted to buy Pepe, am I buying up here? Probably not, right? This weekly VWAP is likely to cool off at some point. Even if it goes higher first, there's going to be some kind of a better, bigger pullback at some point. Whether that pullback happens higher or here, I don't know, but I just can't buy these green candles based off the own rules that I set for myself, not only in my trading, but also my investing, right? I'm not going to buy this giant green candle. We are going to get likely at least some kind of a doji candle or a red weekly candle potentially. You don't have too high hopes for a big dump in a bull market, but I'm just not buying. I can't buy these. If we don't get a pullback or I don't get an opportunity to buy at a lower price, I would just sit out on Pepe and find another coin to buy. But weekly, there's no money flow information on the weekly, so we can't take that away. But this VWAP is coming down, so we could potentially see a little bit of a cool-off come in once you get that red dot on the weekly. Now, taking a look at the daily, and actually, let me take a look at Lux Algo real quick on the weekly as well. Yeah, it's very, very, very hard with such little price history. Let's come on down to the daily. This thing absolutely exploded, obviously. Nice little, oh my God, quick little 8X from February till now. Unbelievable. The quick little 8X on Pepe. And, oh, my God, that's crazy. I feel FOMO now, guys, right? Look at me. I feel FOMO. Look at Frankie Candles. He feels FOMO, but I'm not going to go buy it, right? I can feel the FOMO without acting on it, and that's the key. But let's see here. Yeah, weekly money flow crossover into the green. I think you could continue up here, to be quite honest with you. Why do I say that? Well, typically when we see market cipher B look like this, where your momentum wave has come up and starts to come down, but your VWAP is coming against it, coming to the upside, what this tells me, especially when you have some kind of top made and you have some consolidation, what this tells me personally is if you get that green dot on the daily, you're probably going to see something like this, right? Maybe even pull back a little more, but it tells me that you're probably going to break the previous highs, right? And then your momentum wave would likely come up like this, potentially setting you up for a bearish divergence on the daily, right? Which would be a stronger signal for a big pullback, right? So maybe you get one more push up here. This is speculative. Maybe you get another push up here. You get a bearish divergence on the daily. And then as that daily bearish divergence is printing, maybe at that point, you're starting to see the VWAP cross over the zero line and give you a weekly red dot. In which case would be a stronger indication of a more significant pullback than what we're seeing on the charts right now. So, with that VWAP curving up, I do think you could potentially get another push to the upside. Let's come on down to the 4 hour. I'll pull a fib for you guys, and we'll try to pull some of these extension levels. I'm going to pull from this high to this low. I'm going to grab this, pull up the extensions. You can see how these extensions work, right? You go from the high to the low. What happens, right? Price rips, comes right up to your first level here. We got a nice little rejection. Now, if we do break above this, these will be kind of, I'm not going to say the levels, guys. I'm just going to let you screenshot these because I don't want to butcher these tiny little microscopic prices. But like the next major zones I would look at would be, right here. And I will make boxes so you guys can just screenshot it. All right, so feel free to screenshot this. I know it's a pretty big zone, but these are the two next major zones I would look at for Pepe. If it's going to continue to pump, and we are going to get that daily to play out like I just said, right? These are the levels I would look at, right? Maybe you get a push up, right? Maybe you bing bong around, you get another push up to this level or this level before putting in that daily bearish divergence, right? Now, that's something I would look at. I don't know if that's going to come in here. I don't know if that's going to come in here. I don't know if that's going to come into the last level we have up here, right? We don't know. But what the point here is having the key levels set on your chart and then analyzing the price action as you hit your key levels. So these are the next targets for me on Pepe. If you do get that next push up, you break this zone, probably coming up here. And again, you could screenshot these levels if you want to mark them down on your own chart. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get rid of these fibs, right? I don't actively trade Pepe, so I don't really feel the need to keep these on the chart permanently. Now, locally, what I would be looking at simply, right, if I did think this thing was going to rip back to the upside, which arguably with that green dot on the 16-hour could be possible. And I will be honest, right? It's like probably too late to enter a position like what I'm about to show. But what I would be looking at here is this local range right here, right? And then what would I be doing here? What do we do, Mafia, with these volume profiles? We wait for the deviation, look for the bullish confirmations, and then you look for a long back to the value area high. Deviate from the high, back down to the low. Deviate from the low, back to the high. Deviate from the high, back to the low. From the low, back to the high, right? So I don't know if you're going to be lucky enough, especially with that 16-hour green dot printing, you may just get a push up here. But if you did wind up coming back down to the range low, look how good this is how I trade, right? I scout these local ranges, and what happens when if this winds up breaking to the upside, likely I'm going to be in a long position from the low of this range, right? This is how we catch these fire moves, right? This is how I caught, right? This is literally a big part of the reason why I am in this Matic trade up over 15K, right? It had to do with finding a local range, entering the long at the low of that range, and then having price break out. And the way you can anticipate if it's going to break out is by looking at the higher time frames, right? Because if I see locally prices pushing to the bottom of a range here, right? Prices found fair value right here. But if I see price break this range and come lower, but the higher time frames like the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the 16-hour, and the daily are printing green dots and looking very bullish, that's letting me know that this is probably just a deviation from the local range. And if I'm able to get in here, I may be able to ride the bullish signals on the higher time frames to much higher prices. And this is exactly what I did on Matic, right? I found a local entry. The higher time frames looked bullish, right? It looked like we were going to get a big move up to very specific targets. And what I did was I came down to the lower time frames to get an entry. I found a local range, waited for that range, waited for price to come down to the low of that range. So I knew that I was buying a cheap asset, right? Not buying the top, but buying low down or buying at lower prices relative to the local price action. And then we rode those bigger bullish moves to the upside. And we're kind of just like looking to ride the range trade and then thinking there's a high likelihood this thing's going to break out. And then when it breaks out, you just hold on to that candle and ride it. So there you go. Anyway, this is the local range that I would be looking at on Pepe. So if you did get another pullback, very specifically, I would look down towards not only the value area low here, but I would also look at the 786 golden pocket when pulled from this wick to the high. Honestly, with the 16-hour green dot, I'd probably pull a more local fib. So yeah, I don't even know if you'll deviate below this range again if you are going to pump again. But if you do come back down, really what I'm looking at are Fibonacci levels and this local value area, right? You even kind of have this right here too, right? Another somewhat identifiable range. So if you come down lower, you can then look at this range, right? So what I'll do here is I'll just mark this out. Bada boom, right? So you're trading around here. Maybe if you come out of your range and it's not just a deviation and you are indeed going to get a bigger move down, you would just want to watch this lower range, right? So there you go. Other than that, I mean, money flow is trending out here, guys. The only reason I'm not freaking out, but the only reason why I'm not really just like calling for lower prices here based off money flow is because of the crazy bullish move that we're seeing right now. You got to be careful with the shorts. I mean, you got to be careful with the shorts right now. But money flow is coming out, right? This is why I've decided to take a little bit more of a neutral stance on Bitcoin, right? Because if you look here, it's like we have money flow coming out on some time frames, right? It's got kind of flat. It's kind of coming out. And we're just at that point in the market where like waves, these green money flow waves can just come back up out of nowhere. So keep that in mind, right? Like things are a little bit chopped up right now. But there's Pepe. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at DOT. As you guys know, DOT is one of those coins that we've been looking at for quite some time, right? Talking about how it is not broken out of its bear market range yet. Now, obviously, this thing has broken out yet. Shout out to anybody who follows along with this channel. I will only give you the most sound information that I can give you, right? It doesn't mean that I will always be right. It doesn't mean that every altcoin I say is going to break out of its bear market range. It doesn't mean every altcoin I say that for is going to happen. But very simple strategies. I mean, not even really simple, but like these are strategies and techniques that I teach every single day on these live streams. And if you have tuned in, as Polkadot was approaching its previous value area high here of the bear market range, and we were looking at this weekly money flow crossover, saying, well, if we are going to get a breakout of this range, guys, that number one could be extremely exciting for a potential $33 Polkadot to come in, but it could also be very likely that this will be the breakout that sustains itself to higher prices because of the weekly money flow crossover. And what has happened since we have talked about that? We've essentially seen a 42% pump on Polkadot, right? And, this, in my opinion, could just be getting started. Now, there are other altcoins. There are many other altcoins that I've looked at in the past, and also a lot of altcoins that I've shared in the premium Discord. A lot of them some of them I have not shown on the public streams. But a lot of the coins that we've looked at this for, like another one we've looked at on this YouTube stream, was Atom, right? Atom arguably is even further behind than Polkadot is. So if you feel like you missed the move on things like Doge breaking out of its bear market range and approaching its previous value area low, if you feel like you missed this, or if you feel like you missed, same thing with Matic, right? Matic filling volume profiles as well. This is how we call this stuff. But what are some other ones we were looking at? Even ADA has already broken out, right? A lot of these altcoins are going to, like, once they break this range, they're going to go. But Polkadot and Atom were two coins we were looking at saying, hey, these have not really broken out that aggressively yet. Could be early entries if you feel like you missed, Dogecoin, etc., all the other ones I just looked at. And you also, like on a lot of these, you have these like really, really like these head and shoulder type formations, right? Which again, I know this is super wonky. I know this is like barely a technical target, but a lot of these are bringing you right up into your bull market ranges, right? I don't recommend you pull your technical targets like that. And I'm not a big pattern trader, right? Like I'm not trading based off this pattern, but typically when you see these patterns, it is indicative of a reversal, but also on top of the fact, it's not just that there's a head and shoulders, right? There's a massive bullish divergence here with money flow coming up, on the higher time frames. This is the 4-day. You also were deviating below your macro volume profile of the bear market. You also had money flow coming up. And then you also are starting to see like, oh, that kind of looks like a head and shoulders. Like maybe that's going to reverse, right? So yeah, many reasons to be looking for a move here. But look at this, just starting to break out, right? So if this thing did wind up doing what Ethereum has done, obviously it's a higher market cap, so not going to be the biggest move here. And this isn't the bull market range, by the way, but most locally, we could be targeting potentially the value area high of this range if Atom is going to break out, get above the value area low, and get a move to the high. Could be a nice little move there. Again, of about, come on, there we go, of about 170, 180%. Now, let me come back here. And let's go back to Polkadot, right? Because that's what we were originally on. Where is it? Right here. So there you go, right? This is starting to get a move. Maybe Atom's even a little bit further behind. So yeah, next target for Polkadot, guys, is going to remain the same, right? Like this is going to be one of those things that may take a little bit of time. Maybe we cool off a little bit. Maybe we just yeet up. But that next zone of resistance, in my opinion, is going to be sitting between 1741, 1714, and 1427, where you have this next value area low POC of your range. Once you get above that, get acceptance above that POC, in my opinion, you may be able to see a pretty quick move up to about $33 for DOT. And this is, yeah, so if we pull our, from where we are right now to the value area high, it's a 200% pump to the previous all-time high, about a 392% pump. Not too shabby. But, everybody wants 100x, but you got to increase your risk for that. We're talking about Polkadot, right? This is something that has amazing tech, something that's been around for quite a while, something that I wouldn't expect to just turn out to be a scam and go to zero, right? Like Polkadot's a legitimate project, obviously. So that's what I'd be looking at on Polkadot. Nothing has really changed here. Just simply one of those cases where, like, we already looked at this and we're just simply seeing what we saw play out, right? We're just seeing what we were looking for play out. So shout out to the Mafia and anybody who saw those streams where we were looking at these altcoins that have not broken out yet, because they're all just playing out absolutely beautifully. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to hopefully even just push one human being, one Mafia member in the chat to take this take these volume profiles and go study up on them, so you guys can do this too. It's the only reason I say it. I really do. I just think I don't know. It's like cringy to me. It's like I just feel like all of crypto. I mean, maybe it's just TikTok. I don't really watch crypto YouTube, but crypto TikTok is just full of like, what did I tell you guys? I told you to watch this coin. It's like, yeah, but like you just said it was gonna go up. Like we are looking at very specific things, and I am teaching you very specific things that you can go do this yourself, right? At this point in the market, we're at the point in the market where you could basically just throw a dart at a random board of names and buy that asset, and it's probably going to go up. But what I like to do is we do more research, right? We actually look at the charts. We find the actual targets. I'm not saying that I think Polkadot is going to go to $17 because it's a good project, and they have a good team. And I just think $17 is like a fair price for it to go to. Like, I don't know what people base these things off of, right? I'm basing these on actual technical levels based off of previously traded volume on the chart, right? Like, that's why I love the charts. And I'm not the only person who does this, obviously. But this is why I love the charts, because it's not just like, I don't know how other people, like, if you don't look at the charts and you're not like calculating market cap and comparing it to other coins, like there's some people out there that just be like, I really believe in this one. I could see it going upwards of $100. And it's like the coin's at like less than a penny. And then you go look at the market cap and you're like, if this thing goes to $100, it needs a $170 trillion market cap, which means the person that told you it was going to $100 has absolutely no idea what's going on, right? You have to understand, one more time, I will show this again because this has been this is like one of the best tools you could look at, especially when it comes to altcoins, guys, especially if you're watching YouTube, you're on TikTok, you got to be careful, especially when people are promoting coins. A lot of them have an incentive to say these things are going to $1 million. But if you come over to the coin perspective, guys, anytime someone says, I think the coin's going here because they have a good team, like they don't tell you an actual reason, like they don't have actual research on why the coin is going somewhere, simply pull up the coin, right? People say sheep to a penny, right? And I have infamously called against that ever being a possibility. People, well, they have a burn. Their burn barely does anything, right? Like, you have to do the research to find this stuff out. You can't just, like, hear a YouTuber, right? And I'm saying this as a YouTuber. You can't just have a YouTuber say, oh, no, they got a burn mechanism. Trust me, guys, I know what I'm talking about. They'll burn. And, like, you got to go do that research. Anyone you're watching, and this goes for me, too, right? I do, obviously I show my work. But, just because I say something's going somewhere, your initial thought should be like, I don't trust you. You're some weirdo on the internet. I'm going to fact check you. And this is how you should treat things, no matter who you're listening to, right? Not even assuming that they have incentive to lie to you, right? But sheep to a penny, right? If sheep went to a penny, it would need a $5.9 trillion market cap. That's a 310x. I'm sorry. And I like sheep, especially after all the research I did for that video, or we did for that video. It's actually pretty. They have a lot going on, right? It's like I don't know. I kind of like warmed up to sheep a little bit, but it's not gonna hit a penny, right? Like this is bigger than the entire market cap of all of crypto. If you took all the money in crypto right now and then dumped it into sheep, it would not be anywhere near a penny. But new people are going to come into the market who do not understand this, and they're going to hear someone on YouTube who they assume knows more than they do, when a lot of the times they don't. They're just talking on the internet. They're going to come in and they're going to hold this thing expecting it to go to a penny. They see that it's so cheap. Oh my God, if I put $100 in, I'm going to get 150 quadrillion coins. How could I not get rich if it goes to a penny? But the trick is it's never going to go to a penny. It's impossible. And then they say the burn. But when you do the research, you realize the burn doesn't really do much. And like it would still never hit a penny. So there you go. The coin perspective, guys. This is one of the best tools you can look for, especially when you're looking at altcoins. Now, there's a lot of good content creators out there as well, obviously. a lot of them fact check it, right? Like, oh, they said this coin's good. Let me see if it's realistic for it to. And then like another thing you could do on the coin perspective, guys, I know it's a little bit of a rant, but this is useful. This is stuff you could go. This is free. I don't have an affiliate link or nothing to this. This is 100% free, and this will help you make money. They also have portfolio tracker and all this good stuff. But anyway, you can also like scroll down here, right? Let's see, what if Shiba Inu reached the market cap of Bitcoin? Well, if Shiba Inu had the same market cap as Bitcoin, nowhere near a penny. And that's the biggest coin, right? $1.4 trillion. Going to get it nowhere near a penny. So super cool, right? You could compare this, right? So if you're looking at something like, if you're looking at an AI coin, you could look at some higher market cap AI coins that have similar technology or similar goals for their project that has a bigger market cap. And then you can put it in here and say, what if my AI pick had the market cap of this bigger, more developed AI pick? How much would it be? And then it'll tell you. It's about a 200% pump, right? Like what if XRP got to the market cap of, or let's say like what if Solana, right? What if Solana got to the market cap of Ethereum? How much would it be? Well, potential price would be about $1,000. So when someone tells you, I think Solana can go to $10,000, right? You could put this in and be like, okay, well, it's going to need $4.4 trillion in it. Is that realistic? Is that possible? Well, that's 4x the market cap of Bitcoin, right? Like almost, right? Let's using easy math here. So probably not very likely, right? So this is kind of how you can gauge what you want to invest your money in, right? Because you could try to figure out what the realistic multiple potential of your altcoin is, right? You don't want to be holding a coin that can only realistically 3x because of the tokenomics and the market cap when you're looking for a 50x, right? So there's just like this is just like full X-ray vision into like where coins can go. And like, sure, just because if it says, oh, like, even if it gives you a realistic number, it doesn't guarantee it'll get there, but at least you know what's like completely unrealistic. So there you go. There's my coin perspective rant. Go download that. Go to the website, guys. Check them out. I don't know these people. I have no reason to promote them at all. I just literally find that like one of the most useful tools in crypto. All right, let's see. Tony said, even if she burned 50% of the supply, it would still need a $2.5 trillion market cap to hit a penny. People do not realize how much money that is. Yeah, that's if they burned 50% of their total supply. So it's absolutely crazy. But we'll people do not like when you say that. But I just want to protect the mafia. I want you guys to legitimately make money. I don't care to get the clicks. I want you guys to make money for real. But anyway, let's see. Flavio says, how do they burn the tokens? I don't know if Tony, do you know if it's blowtorch or do they just like make a bonfire? I'm not 100% sure. Shout out to Flavio. I'm just kidding. But let's see. Yes, 100%. Fabio, not Flavio. Fabio says people will fade realistic 5 to 10x opportunities to degen chase 100x's and get wrecked. Absolutely. This is, in my opinion, what happens to 99% of people in crypto. Most people lose money because they're going for that 100x. They're listening to their influencers' unrealistic price predictions, right? So this is how people get wrecked. And I don't want that, right? I want you guys to make money. That's why I show you the charts. That's why I show you, hey, if it gets to this value area high, it's this much of a pump, right? Do you want to turn your $100 into $300, into $200? Do you want to turn your $100 into $1 million? Because if you want to turn your $100 into $1 million, you're going to have to go super degen. And there's also a 99% chance you'll lose your money. I know many people in crypto, right? As you would expect. I work in crypto full-time. I know a ton of crypto people. I can't think off the top of my head anyone I've ever met that bought $100 of a meme coin and got rich. It is almost impossible. And this is something that influencers won't tell you, right? Because it's not in their best interest because they need to keep that FOMO going. And like, sure, Frankie, why don't you just do that? Because it's not my goal, right? My goal is not to suck my audience dry. My goal is to stuff my audience's pocket with money. The mafia gets paid. I don't want the mafia's money. I want to stuff your pockets, and I don't want to just tell you to gamble on what I'm speculating on. I want you guys to figure out how we do this and how we've been successful in the past. Show yourself how to do it, right? I'll teach you. Give you the tools, give you the shovels, right? I don't sell gold on this channel. I sell you the shovels, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm selling shovels, right? It's like I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of another analogy. But there you go. Let's go. Let's go ahead and move on here. Let's see. Yeah, Dave Digital says super chats. Thank you for that, bro. Tony like correcting his math and then saying he missed super chats is wild, bro. All right, let's see. Oh my God, we did get a lot of super chats. Sorry guys, I had coin perspective over the chat. Okay, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. I just want to make sure I get the, let's see, okay. So shout out to Zach Leroy. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I'm trying to redistribute my Solana bag and, and it won't stop going up. Third world problems. Shout out to Zach. Yeah, it won't stop going up. But I will tell you this, Zach. I know it's probably like you want to take profit and then it keeps going up and you're like, maybe I should hold it. There will be a day. Think about how mad you're going to be on the day that you are like, I should take profit, and then you wake up the next day and it dumps. Now, I wouldn't expect Solana to just like absolutely dump to zero out of nowhere, right? Or even like burn half your bag or something like that. But at some point, it's gonna stop going up for the time being. It's not, it doesn't mean it's gonna stop going up forever, but there's gonna be a point where it's gonna stop going up, and you're gonna wish you took profit. So, not financial advice, but just I always pay myself when I'm in the green. So take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I know it is frustrating. It is frustrating. And that actually brings me to my Matic trade, which I do want to talk about because, again, guys, well, now that we have hit that target today, there's very, very specific reasons I am holding this trade. And this just really does touch on Zach Leroy's kind of comment. It wasn't even a question. I'm not blindly holding this trade. There is... not only was there a plan for the long term, there was a plan for the short and medium term as well. So when I came to the Matic chart, what I saw here was, hey, VWAP coming up on the daily. This is probably going to print a green dot soon. On top of that, we have, in the context of the market, things are starting to rip. We're getting weekly money flow crossovers into the green, which, well, this money flow was coming up on the weekly as I was looking at this trade as well, right? So another reason to be bullish long-term, expecting a long-term trend to the upside, because we knew once you get those money flow crossovers, the trend is likely to continue to the upside. So my bias on the higher time frames was very bullish, right? It's on top of the fact that everything was ripping, right, and starting to take off. So what did I do? I went down to a lower time frame, and I said, let me try to find a local long entry for a Matic trade, and I came down here, and I found this local range, which also was looking kind of head and shouldery, right? Now, I'm not saying this is a legitimate head and shoulders. Like I said, I do not really trade patterns. But like when you see this, oftentimes you do see a big move to the upside. And on top of that, you have this local range where we deviated below the low. I explained this before, which is why this line is here. We had the bullish divergence here on the 45-minute with money flow coming up as we were deviating below this local range. So my hypothesis here was, let me long this thing down here and look for it to ride back into the range, flip the value area low to support, go to the POC, go to the value area high. At that moment, if the higher time frames still look bullish, I can zoom out and then target the medium time frame POC, which is sitting on this bigger range. So are you seeing what I did? I looked at the macro, felt bullish, went to the lower time frame, found an entry, and then also have this medium-term volume profile saying, hey, if this is indeed bullish, right, not only would I be trading this range, but we're also back within this profile, and I can anticipate on the medium time frames that we're going to go to this POC. So in hindsight, it's like, hey, we deviated from the volume profile, we got back in, we're now getting a cool-off. Should I be looking for a long position here to ride up to the POC and the value area high? Well, it's a plausible situation. And even if this didn't wind up happening, I was only looking at this as a potential, at the time, trade from the value area low to the value area high, right? So I took very small profit here. But we decided when I came, or not here, I think I took some profit at the POC, or I may have just skipped it because of the way the charts looked, anticipating that POC to come in. What happened? The POC came in. Well, if we get above the POC, we're eventually going to expect the value area high. This is where I believe I took my profit. But the charts look bullish on the higher time frames. So I held the position. And what was I targeting? I wasn't just holding this because I like the tech and the team is good and they have a partnership with Disney. I'm not just holding it like I think it's going to go to $100 because that sounds like what a crypto project with a partnerships has. That's like, it was based off the chart, right? The charts look bullish. I zoomed out and I said, if I'm going to hold this, where should I be holding to? Well, if I hold it, we're already approaching this value area low. So this is, if I get back into this range, I could really start looking to the upside all the way to $1.28, right? And this is yet another target hit, right? So I decided to hold this, right? And then as I'm seeing price bang its head on this value area low, we're seeing things like Chainlink hitting its head on a previous value area low and then getting a big breakout to the upside. We're seeing things like Solana banging its head on multiple previous value areas and filling the range. Comes up here, bangs its head, comes up, fills the range. Not fully, but we're about halfway, right? So we're seeing other things do this exact same, take this same exact path, right? Filling these volume profiles. So there are technical reasons on the chart for me to hold this trade. This is how you turn a $4,000 position into an almost $15,000 position, right? It's not me crossing my fingers and hoping it goes up. It's me hitting key levels of resistance and then analyzing price. Well, okay, we're hitting resistance here. We could probably get a pullback. But what's the higher time frame say? Higher time frame says, hey, you're probably going to just continue filling the range. Right now, what's going on here? Let's manage the trade live together right now. I'm still in this trade, right? Bada boom, still in this trade. What now, right? We're at a value area high. Could I take profit here? Yes. Will I take profit here? I don't know. I'm probably going to look deeper into it as soon as I get off the stream. But we hit this value area high, but look what we're really in the context of. Now, we're inside this bull market range. So if I did want to even take some profit here and hold another portion of the trade, right? Let's say I take 50% off the trade here and I hold a portion of it for higher. I'm not praying for it to go higher. I am looking up to the POC, not only as a key level of resistance, but also looking at this POC, understanding that this POC is likely to suck price up to it. Why? Because I'm above the value area low, right? I've broken above the value area low. The next likely place for price to go is the POC. Does that make sense, Mafia? So sure, we have these local levels from these smaller ranges which within the bigger range, but in the grand scheme of things, as long as I can get over this little level of resistance, the bigger level is within the grander range. And I'll tell you what, maybe I take profit here, maybe I wait till the POC, maybe we flip the POC and come to the value area high, and then we blast off to all-time highs. I don't plan on holding the trade that long, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys that you're going to have much higher success when you're looking at actual information and not just like buying something and then just crossing your fingers hoping it goes up. And hopefully this is an example of that. So I wanted to walk you guys through exactly, this isn't the sexy stuff, right? Like I know everybody wants to hear, what's the next altcoin that's going to explode? Well, we kind of do that, right? Like we did that already. But, I'm not saying this is going to explode, but it's likely going to follow suit on the other altcoins, especially if we do wind up seeing that alt season that we're expecting. I'm going to pull up token metrics here real quick. But this is the stuff that makes you money, right? Like this is what people think they want out of crypto is not what they want. They're going to lose all their money. What they really want is the not sexy stuff, the trading psychology, They need the person to tell them that sheep's not going to a penny. It's not sexy. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear, I'm going to buy $100 of this and it's going to go to $1 million. But that is simply not the reality of things, right? This is why most people lose money, and it's why I'm so passionate about talking about this stuff, because this is the stuff that will make you money. And speaking of alt season, guys, real quick, let's just pull up token metrics real quick. And they have a really cool thing here that shows you, if you're closer to Bitcoin season or alt season. And actually, this doesn't, yikes. This is, obviously the red is Bitcoin season, the green is alt season. And we did wind up, we were in Bitcoin season. We got a big rip to the upside approaching alt season. But we never crossed into the green. It's actually tanking pretty bad right now. But this does take time to develop, so I wouldn't really be like, oh my God, we're not getting alt season because of this. But typically, we do get pullbacks here, but typically, the real alt seasons, like this was in August of 2022. That was like that weird little bear market alt season that we had. Even back here in December, we were technically in alt season. Obviously you get a move out of Bitcoin season. Sometimes you do dip back into it like we're seeing happen right here or currently. But then you eventually rip right back into alt season. So this is something I monitor, right? Like there's a million different ways, but this is just really cool because this kind of, it's kind of just clear cut, right? Instead of just like really trying to like analyze Bitcoin dominance, this is something that like most normal people aren't really accustomed to. It's a lot easier for a normal person who doesn't understand charts fully to look at something like this and be like, oh, okay, look, we're in alt season. It's a little bit easier to digest. So there you go. And this is token metrics for anybody who's interested. I don't think, do we have a link to save that money on token metrics? I don't know if we do, but whatever. All right. Shout out to, let's see. Yo, shout out to Tony D. Says, realistic inhaler just dropped. Nerd just dropped. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Tony D, you're fired. You're fired. You're so fired, bro. Shout out to Tony D for getting that new emoji. I'm just kidding. He's not fired. Golden, shout out to you, brother. He says, Frankie, you look like you know what you're talking about with the glasses on. Nerd. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Harry Potter just dropping in there, cracking up. I love it. Shout out to Harry Potter. Let's see. Mr. Faze says, when would you best re-enter alts long term? If I had pulled out of all my alts, which I have not, I mean, this is kind of hard to say, right? Like, so let's say I bought a bunch of Doge and I sold my Doge. A lot of my altcoins, guys, so let's say I bought Doge, made the gain, and I sold it all up here. It would really depend on the coin, for real. But, I mean, I would be looking at the higher time frames, right? So, like, if I saw Doge, absolutely Lambo candle up to 18 cents, I took profit. I'd probably wait for the red dot on the weekly, see what kind of pullback that gave us. But I wouldn't really be expecting any kind of crazy pullback, especially in the environment that we're in right now. The only thing... I do think there's like a small possibility. I know a lot of people are I don't necessarily think this, but I do think, right, if we are going to get some kind of a black swan to come in, that's like the only chance we have at a massive dump on everything, right? We need some kind of a black swan event. Is it like a depression? Maybe. Is it some kind of geopolitical black swan event? Maybe. Does it have something to do with a blackout? Maybe. Now, I'm not guaranteeing any of that happens, but if we're going to see a big pullback, I think the pullback that a lot of the people who feel like they're missing out right now, a lot of people feel like they're missing out, and a lot of people are probably hoping for big pullbacks. In my opinion, I mean, we're going to have healthy pullbacks, right? Like, we see healthy pullbacks in crypto all the time. But in order to see the pullback that I think a lot of people who feel like they missed the boat are looking for, you need a black swan. Right, like the people who are hoping for a $28,000 Bitcoin, like there's got to be some kind of catalyst to get us back down there. In my opinion, right? So keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. I know I kind of got sidetracked, but we are talking about a lot of the nerd emojis. Let's see. Tony D said, guys, watch the seller video. Yeah, guys, check out the seller video that we dropped. Pretty nice. Also, leave a comment. Let us know if you like those types of videos, and we will double down on them. Okay, let's continue on. Shout out to Elionic, said the next black swan is when Golden sells. Probably facts. Okay, so that was DOT. Let's take a quick look at Quant. And shout out to that seller video. I believe it's the seller video. I make a Quant joke. But let's see. Okay, let's take a look at Quant real quick. Bada boom. Where's our actual Quant? Tether US. Do we have? I don't think we really have a established Quant chart. I'll be honest with you. All right, so let's just make a new chart here. Let's go ahead and what is this? September. Okay. Is this the best chart? Okay, so we'll take a look at this one. So for Quant, let's take a look here at the daily. Delete some of these local some of these local levels. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Yeah. All right, and this is 2021. Okay, so your macro golden pocket is sitting up here north of $200, $281 to $293. Now, I'm not saying this thing is going to just absolutely run up to these levels right now, but if we take a look at this grander range that we have here, you could see, obviously, we had this this big slip. Does anybody know what this was? This seems to be like a like a Solana deviation, right? Like where it basically like this is kind of the range it was slipping in, and then this was basically just like oversold AF. This seems like, yeah, like did this dump with Solana? That's very interesting. Anyway, you look at this as your bear market range, right? And you know, we are basically with Quant, like you're in a very similar situation here where you're looking at Quant sitting here at $147, about to break out of that range. And to be quite honest with you, this range is what you need to break above to get these higher prices to come in. Now, you do have significant resistance within this price action here. You could see the high volume node. So, you know, this zone right here between, I would call it $187 to about $173 is going to be a key level to get above. And once you get above that, you could expect a pretty quick move up to 270, 280. But that's all based off the volume profile. And for the most part, it's looking kind of similar to things like, yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. Daily money flow crossing over into the green. So, you know, maybe you get a little bit of resistance on this value area high, but if there is any time that is likely to get a breakout of this range, I don't see why a money flow crossover into the green wouldn't be that time, right? I think you have a better chance than any to get an actual breakout of this range, not only based off the weekly money flow, just trying to come back into the green here, trending up. Your daily money flow is crossing over into the green. And this is what we basically saw happen on things like Polkadot, right? I believe. Weekly money flow was coming up, looking to cross over into the green as you were approaching that bear market range high. Come over to the daily, money flow crossover right here, right? Money flow came back into the green, letting us know, well, hey, maybe you're going to get that breakout, right? You tested it here once with a money flow crossover into the green, tested it right here with a money flow crossover into the green. Why is this time different? Or the time we broke out, why was this time different? Simply because we never went back down to the value area low. We broke out, retested the POC. Oftentimes, especially with that where we were in the market at the time, it was very likely to get that breakout, and that daily money flow crossover was part of that. So when you take a look at something like Quant, in a very, very similar situation, it's very hard not to speculate that something similar may happen. Now, the targets to the upside, other than, you know, I don't have the range here pulled, but we do have a golden pocket 786 sitting right here, which is pretty nice. So I would just be using that as a target. But money flow on the weekly, I mean, lagging behind a lot of these other altcoins. So yeah, I mean, this thing has not really gotten the big breakout that everything else has gotten. I mean, same thing with Near. I mean, when did this happen? Hang on. Did this already happen, or did this happen after we were looking at things? I don't know. But I mean, all of these, I mean, these altcoins, they're almost easy to read right now, right? You break through your ranges, you look to target the bull market range. Right now, even Near, I know this isn't on the list, but like even Near Protocol, what's happening here? Like, simply put, you've broken above your range, right? You've gotten back above this value area low. Now the door is open to the POC at 1125. Get above the POC, looking at the value area high, 1321. So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Quant. A little like, special guest Near Protocol. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on Quant, right? So once we break not only $148, but really, like I said, pulling up the VPVR, there is that extra level you got to break above that high volume node sitting right here at about, between 170 and 185-ish dollars. Once you break above that, you have that nice little low volume gap that you could easily just fly right through. So there you go, guys. Shout out to Dave Digital said, I got you, bro. See you tomorrow. Are you out, Dave? Shout out to Dave Digital. Alex says, any thoughts on ICP? Let's see. Take a quick look at ICP. Going to zero. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm bullish on ICP. Sometimes I just like to say, it's going to zero. It's just fun to say. All right, let's see. Where's my ICP chart? Guys, I think I need to get 2 different TradingView accounts. I need like a personal, and then I need a Frankie Candles account. Like a live stream account. Okay. Well, this is actually an old ICP chart that I haven't looked at in quite some time, but you can see the levels are still respected, right? And that's not a shocker because the levels are technical, right? It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of what is on the chart, right? It's why I like don't really I probably should, but like I just don't take credit when I'm right? Like when I'm right, it's because the charts played out. It's not because like I guessed correctly. I guessed based off of information, and that information is right most of the time. But anyway, so yeah, green dot on the weekly. This is actually a pretty nice sign for ICP, right? ICP was kind of one of the early runners, right? And it actually has been kind of sleeping for a while, right? Kind of getting a little bit of a pullback around into the upside. Since Christmas, it's kind of cooled off and just consolidated, but came up to our next key level. Like, where are we getting this resistance on? Simply put, like there's no, like everything happens for a reason. You never just like bounce for no reason, in my opinion. And like right here, the reason that we were looking up to these levels was this value area low POC of this next little area of consolidation. And I just like everything else I looked at, I'm going to go quick and dirty here on ICP. If we break above this key level here at 1680, in my opinion, 2158 is likely, right? And then, beyond that, we have some higher targets that we could look at another day. But for now, this weekly green dot, if it does give us a push to the upside, the key level to break is 1675. Break that, 2158 is likely, in my opinion. Locally, VWAP on the daily below the zero line as well. Like 12 and 16 hour VWAP kind of chilling. 4 hour green dot looking to print. So, yeah, I'd be looking at this on a higher time frame, to be quite honest with you. Next green dot on the daily, in my opinion, if you are going to break into this next range and come up to the value area high at 2158, I think that daily green dot is likely going to be the thing that brings you up there if you get it. So there you go. Shout out to Wick589. Just classic Wick589. I love it. He says, can we peek at Can Do for Mr. Cat as fake out, only to tell him whether or not it's got a scammy chart at least. Shout out to Wick589. Yes, can do. Shout out to Wick. Yeah, can do. Anyway, with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all so much. I have no idea what's going on in chat right now. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and sticking around to the end. I have a feeling I'm about to scoot the screen over. I have a feeling we went overtime, but let's see how good my time. I think we were live for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Oh, 2 hours and 57 seconds. I was close, guys. It's the glasses. I don't know. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in and sticking around to the end. And, yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, pretty neutral on Bitcoin right now. But now you guys know what I'm looking at for the move up, for the move down, and not only what I'm looking at to anticipate those moves, but also the key levels to the upside and downside so we can look for those next trades so you guys can cash out whether the price is going up or down. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Dave Digital. Shout out to Bryce. Shout out to Alexandra G. Shout out to Harry Potter. Bitfrog. Mr. Cat. Siri. Shout out to Tony D. French Toaster. Shout out to the mods. Show them love in the chat. And last but certainly not least, shout out to Dave Digital and our boy Golden. Thank you all for what you do. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Well, shout out to Wick589. I will take a look. I can do. I will take a look at can do. Let's jump in real quick here. So I assume, I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Oh, this is wrapped ETH. This is probably going to be the only chart that I can look at. But yeah, I assume this is a meme coin. I might be wrong. But I will say this, yeah, there's not really enough information. I mean, money flow coming out on the 4-hour green dot printing. Yeah, these meme coins with like very little price history are very hard to analyze, guys. There's like no higher time frame information to look at. But I will say this doesn't look as scammy as most of these like super new coins. Yeah, it actually doesn't look as bad. That does not mean that it won't go to zero. I don't know nothing about this. I assume it's a meme coin. But yeah, I don't know. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, VWAP coming up on your 8-hour, 3-hour. Money flow coming out. Yeah, 1 hour. I don't know. Kind of hard to analyze these. Yeah, these like low liquidity coins here. It's really like nothing. Yeah, can't even pull a decent range on the dang thing. Come on. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give you some key levels here. Locally, your key level that you do not want to lose to the downside, honestly, is right here. Right, you lose this range low. Come out right there. You lose this, likely gonna get a bigger move to the downside, potentially targeting this. Yeah, you like this is. Yeah, the volume analysis is like the volume calculations are just like all wonked out. But yeah, I would anticipate if you lose that this range low, you're likely going to fall through this gigantic volume gap, and you're probably going to land somewhere near here. I'm not even going to try to guess how many zeros that is. But yeah, again, I have no idea what this is. I just say it's a meme coin because it looks so new and looks very low liquidity. So I would be careful if it is a meme coin. But yeah, very hard to do analysis. But we try. Even if there's like 6 candles on the chart, we try to give at least a couple of key levels. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's live stream. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. I didn't mean to shove the microphone in my mouth. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide.
Scratch that, guys. They're scammers. This is going to zero 100%, apparently. I mean, that's why I don't look at a lot of the meme coins, guys, because like most people are just trying to pump their bags. But yeah, I don't know if they're actually scammers or not, but yeah, I guess it's going to zero. I do not support this at all. This is a scam. Anyway, we should make a rule. We only look at coins over a certain market cap, but then that's no fun. But yeah, I don't know. Invest at your own risk. Maybe Ken do's a scam. Probably is if it's a meme coin. 99% of meme coins will go to zero. Just look at monkeys. That was supposed to be the next sheep, and then it went to zero. Anyway, that's all I got. Hasta CandleMafia. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go. here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out,